guys, welcome back to another episode of R&Dgarage. This week we're working on Project Blueberry episode 5, and I'm super excited because we finally got some parts in. None of the actual mechanics of the car, they're all interior parts, but it's still going to be so good to open up these packages for you guys and get to work. And as always, I want to thank all my new subscribers for subscribing and liking and commenting. You guys are awesome, as well as everybody who's been there since the beginning. I appreciate you guys so much too. Okay, well, let's get ready to open up some packages. Okay guys, let's get started. So I'm going to start over here with the keys first. So, Blueberry came with, a set of keys, but I really like having a full set, and her keys were getting a little bit dingy and the red lettering was coming off. And so I went ahead and got a new full set. So these are the regular keys, and there's the part number for that. And then I also ended up getting a couple of valet keys as well, because, you never know. And so that is the part number for that. Okay, moving on. Now we got the windshield washer cap. And so I'm gonna go ahead, open up this guy. And before I do that, there's the part number. So, whoop, there it is. Okay, and now we have the antenna mast. And it's so funny because on the box, it looks like you should just totally break it in half, but don't do that. So there's the part number. And let's go ahead, open up this side. Okay, well that was a little more time consuming than I thought, but here is the new antenna mast. So that is going to be awesome. So now when it makes the motor sound, it'll actually go up and down. Okay. Put that together right there. Stay. Okay. So now with this, we've got the window module. So this is good. That's the part number for that. And oh, look how shiny and pretty. So you notice, nice and clicky. Bam, that's gonna be awesome. And I think I showed you guys the part number, but I'll do it one more time. Okay, and here we have the heat resistor. So you remember how like my air wasn't blowing out for 1 and 2 and only for 3 and 4? So we're gonna try replacing the resistor and hopefully that will do the trick. So again, it's the part number for that. And this is what it looks like. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on top like that. Okay, and now, oh, now here is the part number for the rear view mirror because we were having some issues with mine. Like the heavy duty bag. There we go. Yay. So there's that. Okay, and then we have the actuator for the rear hatch. Because you remember again, the motor would sound, but I couldn't quite get it open. It's broken. So anyway, that's a brand new actuator. And that, make sure it's right side up, is the part number for that. Awesome. Well, we've unboxed everything. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, we are gonna start with the hardest part that we have today, the windshield wiper fluid cap. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so you can see mine is like dirty and just about broken. It's got a hole in the middle. And so I'm gonna pop it off like that and you see like the hole and, oh, well, it's a little crispier than I thought. So it's a good thing we're replacing it. So I'm gonna toss the old crap to the side. And that one actually didn't have a dipstick, but this one does. No biggie, obviously. We're just gonna slip it on in. And then you wanna make sure the point of the cap points out. So we are going to do just so. Come on, guy. There we are. Wow, for a second I thought I was having trouble. Okay, let's move on. Okay guys, now we're gonna work on getting that heater resistor replaced. So the first thing we have to do, well, the first step is basically opening up the glove box and taking all the crap out. So, because you don't want it to spill. Okay, so now that it's all empty, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this screw right here. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's literally filthy. But basically that's the screw that holds the damper into place. And so once I remove it, I'm gonna move the damper aside, push it back, and then we'll be ready to tackle the 2 bolts on the bottom. So here we go with my Phillips. There we go. There we are. And years, I guess 20 years of schmutz. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. And now I'm going to go ahead and there. So that was super easy. And you can see it's like slithering back inside. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and close this up. And that should keep it latched by the latch while you're busy with the bolts on the bottom. So there's 2 8mm bolts, and there's one, and you're going to have to feel them. There's one right here, and then there's one on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. Oh, yes. There's the first one. Okay, let's go for the other one. And I'm gonna have to hold it towards the end because you're gonna see this is just basically still going to be held on by the latch. So I don't want it to just dump forward. Perfect. Okay guys, now we're gonna slowly unlatch. And bam, we are all set. Okay guys, now it's time to take out the heater resistor. And this is exactly where we are working right here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take off the connector, or squeeze it and pull it off. And then there are 2 screws, one on either side, right here and on the other side. And that's where we finally get to use our little baby Weehaw Phillips. So hopefully that'll fit. Okay, let's do this. So like I said, the first thing we're gonna do, and it's of course really, really awkward. Oh, and another thing about working with old plastic parts is just be gentle, because you don't want to break something further while replacing something new, because then you're in the same boat. So, okay, so let's go ahead. And the thing is to squeeze and pull up. There we go. That's been disconnected, so I'm going to set that aside. And now we're going to take our baby Weehaw and make it fit in. Oh, ouch. Okay. Oh, man. Let me try to get an angle in here. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing just to do this, but when you're filming, it's like, okay, how can I not block it? So there we go. Okay, so there's perfect. Whew. First screw. Okay, and that looks like it can just lift out, so I'm going to go for the other one here. Perfect. And I've got my magnetic thing just in case I drop it, because you don't really want to drop the screws back here. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can just... That's not going to work. You know what? I wonder if I can just lift it. Yes! Okay, I'm going to do it this way. Come on, guys. Oh, holding my breath that I don't drop the screws. Oh, success. Okay, oh, yeah. Can you guys tell me why my air wasn't blowing for 1 and 2? Bam, here we go. Okay, I'm going to get the new part and we're going to put her in. Wow. Okay guys, you know the drill. Once you pull out the old part, place it next to the brand new part to make sure that they are identical. And these are, you know, aside from that resistor being foobar, they are identical. Much like light bulbs, you do not want to get your fingers on the resistor anywhere near this because, again, like light bulbs, you can leave oils on it and it could get all foobar like that one. So let's go ahead and put the new guy in. Okay guys, we're finally ready to replace this heater resistor. So what we're gonna do, first of all, is be very careful not to bang these into anything. So remember the way it came out? It's basically that is facing down and the tab is facing driver's side. And what I'm gonna do actually is put the screws in from the top. So hopefully it'll go back in the way it came out. And okay, looking at this, obviously it's going to be a tight fit to get it back in and we have to be more gentle. So I'm going to go up and over this here and see if I can get it in. So, okay. And I keep wanting to grab it here, but yeah, don't do that. Let's see. Okay, a lot of wiggling. And my head is blocking the light, son of a... Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to go for it. Woo. Come on, oh! Oh, yes. Okay, kind of, not really. Okay, we're just gonna move it back. And come on, guys. There we go, perfect. So it's just a little bit of finagling and you can totally get it. So before I put on the connector, I'm gonna go ahead and put, actually I wonder if I can somewhat finger, nah, that's not gonna work. And my big head is in the way, there we go. Okay. Oh, oh, you know what? Tiny fingers, I bet I can fit in there. Kind of. There we go. I'm always worried I'm going to strip these out, especially the new parts, but this looks good. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that and fling that. And now I'm going to put the connector back in. And this should be, there we go. Ah, the nice satisfying click. Whew, okay, let's go ahead and put the glove compartment back on. Okay, I can't believe I almost forgot this part. Rather than putting everything together right away, do yourself the teeny tiny favor of starting up the car, or at least, you know, until the blower works, and see if it actually fixed it. It'd be really, really bad to get through all of that and then discover that wasn't the part, which 99% sure it was, but let's check. Okay. Ooh, that's 1, 2, 3. Sweet, it fixed it. Okay guys, now we can put stuff back together. Okay guys, so I'm just finishing up the damper part. I didn't really feel the need to show you guys the reinstalled glove compartment because it's basically a reverse of taking it out. So, okay, so that looks good. And before you put all your stuff back in, you want to make sure that it's centered perfectly and so that there's no rubbing. And wow, that is kind of perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put my crap back in and we are good to move on. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and swap out the rear view mirrors. So you're probably wondering, there's a cap here, but there doesn't seem to be any screws to take it off. Well, basically crash safety means that these are breakaway. And so we're just going to take a firm pull down and it should come loose. And this cap should pop off completely separate. So let's go ahead and just, I'm always like a little nervous about this, but let's, there we go. Oh, check it out. So I didn't even pop the cap off that time. That was awesome. So you can see it was spring loaded right there. So that's the reason why it basically popped off the top there. So we're going to switch this around and put the new bad boy on. So a couple more things about the old rearview mirror. You can see how it's kind of oxidized around the edges, and so it was definitely needing a replacement. Another reason why we didn't take it off clearly by using the cap is because this is basically on like glue to the headliner. It's not glued on, but it might as well be. It's so hard to get off. And also, if you're going to be reusing this mirror, try not to break it off. I know that sounds funny, but the more times you break it down, this gets, you know, obviously the more it gets reused, the weaker it gets. So just be careful with that. So now we're going to take off this cap, and again, be careful. Usually it's on a little bit stronger, but it was so difficult that I had a little bit of help taking it off. So this cap looks really, really good, and we shall reuse it. And another good reason why not to break this, they're not making any more of them. Oh, let's move on. So now we're going to take off the old bracket, and we can toss that aside. Not the screws, because we're going to be reusing the screws, but this old bracket we don't need anymore, because the new one, as you can see, comes attached. Okay. Oops. There's one. Two. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we've got our 3 screws. We're going to set this aside because we're going to trash it. And now let's go ahead and put this back on. So what we want to do first is basically start at the head here. And I think I'm going to, let's see if this works. Okay. And these can be very delicate, and it's kind of hard to see. But if it feels like it's not screwing on right, don't force it. And this doesn't feel right. There we go. Okay, and we're just gonna tighten it up a little bit so that it stay good, because you know, if you tighten it up too much, you might not be able to get the other 2 screws in. So, and again, we're gonna be gentle with this. There we go. That, and then we'll go back and tighten. Perfect. Oh, this is great. Okay, there's that. Let's go back in here. There we go. I was like, that didn't sound right. Okay. Well, it looks like a rearview mirror. Let's move on. I went ahead and tightened up the screws because I noticed it kind of wiggled after I put them in, just basically to start. And then when we cut, I realized, oh, what about the cap? Okay, so we're going to put this on, and you'll notice, obviously, that the opening goes towards the windshield because that's where, you know, the arm is. And basically, we're just going to give this a good kind of smack, and it should pop on. So, and again, we want to be kind of gentle. Oh. Hey, we don't even have to smack it. Yeah, well, that was a nice big click. Cool, now we can move on. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning into R&Dgarage. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all your comments recently. They mean a lot, you know, and I know I say that a lot, but honestly, I really truly mean it. You guys rock. So yeah, so we're gonna continue filming Blueberry Part 6 soon. And yeah, catch us midweek. Have a great week, you guys.